Welcome to the Jeddah Corniche, one of the fastest circuits on the calendar. But let's see who'll be fastest of them all. We're about to set the grid for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Yes, it's qualifying.
Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.
With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. We've got fast sweeping corners under the lights and 20 racers all ready to write their name into the quickly growing history of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Verstappen, George Russell and Antonelli, Ocon, Hamilton, Albon and Yuki Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Gabriel Bortoleto and Gasly, Hadjar, Stroll, Ollie Behrman and Nico Hülkenberg, Doohan, Lawson, Martins and Ritomo Miata rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. Well, it's been a long time since I last worked with you. Good to see you again today. Anthony Davidson. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
Well, you've got to be prepared, Crofty. Before you even step foot inside the car, you've got to know, you've got to have a pre-race game plan. You've watched videos before you get into the car of previous races gone by. You know where you have to place your car if X, Y or Z happens in front of you or behind you. So having this clear game plan is absolutely essential before you get in the car.
Try to put the starting position out of your mind and just focus on the race ahead. We can still do a good job here today. To give that place back, I'm afraid. That was an illegal overtake. Are you all right? Engine off, engine off.
Charles Leclerc, what a drive, what a victory, he wins!
A great display of dominance today, Crofty, by this driver. They led from lights out to the flag at the end, led every lap of the race. Brilliant stuff by them, and excited to see what more they can do in future races.
Well, it's been a long wait for many of our drivers, but the wait is always worth it. Bring them out to the awaiting crowd. It's time for our podium celebrations. And that is a fabulous win and the top step of the podium for Charles Leclerc. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Great news. One of our research upgrades is complete. Once we finish researching an upgrade, we can start developing it for one or both of our cars. Head over to the development screen to get started.
Have you got a moment? Need your input.
Hey boss, really pleased to say that early talks have progressed well. And we're now in a position to have a first meeting with them, to learn more about what we're each after. It's a bit of a dance, but it'll be worth it, I think. And remember, it doesn't bind us to them. We can always go elsewhere. Things are progressing well. We've got a bit more into the weeds of discussions.
Hey, Chief. Just a reminder to kick off some research projects. We don't want to fall behind our rivals, and we haven't got anything in the pipeline at the moment. Thanks.
Hi. Notice we've got some spare cash reserves. Obviously, I know you've got other priorities, but don't forget you can upgrade the corporate facility whenever you like. We're worth it, I promise.
Welcome back to Miami and welcome to qualifying. Only raw speed will separate these drivers today, but the question is, who's got what it takes to get pole?
Well, what happened? Let me know you're okay.
And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend. So we'll see you all tomorrow. Well, the weather is not looking good today. We're expecting the downpours to continue into today's sprint. This will make for some very tricky conditions for all the teams. Well, it's certainly not sunny here in the Sunshine State. A lap of the Miami Grand Prix features 19 corners and 3.36 miles of track around the Hard Rock Stadium. But these conditions should prove especially difficult for all of our drivers today. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Norris, George Russell and Hülkenberg, Ocon, Albon, Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz, Piastri, Tsunoda, Andrea Kimi Antonelli and Gasly, Behrman, Doohan, Gabriel Bortoleto and Lance Stroll, Hadjar, Lawson, Martins and Ritomo Miata rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me in the commentary box, my old friend, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. Now, we had great fun watching them win last time out. What a great victory it was. But can they carry that into today's race?
It's the important one, isn't it, Crofty? You've done it once, can you do it again? But, you know, if you start believing in yourself and the confidence starts to build, that inner confidence is what you need. And you can carry that through to future races, including this one, and you set that ball rolling. That's the critical thing that they're looking for here. And I believe if you've got that first race win or a win at any stage, it can start to roll with you in a good way.
If we don't want to be stuck near the back for most of the race, you're going to need to push early on. Good luck. Okay, mate, that was an illegal manoeuvre. You've got to cede that position or we'll receive a penalty. Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap. Okay, I've got a brand new race strategy on your MFD if you want to go and check it out. Copy. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track. Okay, be careful with the front wing, you've taken some minor damage. Okay, listen, don't worry about it, mate. It can happen to the best of us. Now look, I've put a new strategy option for you in the MFD, so go and have a look. Copy that. Okay, take it easy on the car, we can't sustain this level of damage. Okay, so the last lap time, 2 minutes, 10.8. Pitting this lap then, come into the pits at the end of this lap. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. We've only got a few laps left. We could risk staying out on the dry tyres unless it becomes undrivable. Other teams are fitting intermediate tyres. It might be worth considering changing yours too. Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please. Blue flag. We're not racing the car behind. Let them pass when you can. Are you okay? That was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals.
So that wraps up the sprint race, but there's still more action yet to come this weekend. We've got qualifying and, of course, the Grand Prix. Welcome back to Miami and welcome to qualifying. Only raw speed will separate these drivers today, but the question is, who's got what it takes to get pole? F1 is back in the United States of America. We're here in the Sunshine State for a race that's fast becoming a fan favourite. It's time for the Miami Grand Prix. Sitting at the southeastern coast of Florida, the Miami International Autodrome has 19 corners and 3.36 miles of racing. It's a circuit designed to encourage close racing while meeting the highest safety standards. Either way, I'm sure it's one that will please the fans. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Russell, Oscar Piastri and Leclerc, Sainz, Bortoleto, Antonelli and Esteban Ocon, Fernando Alonso, Behrman, Alex Albon and Hülkenberg, Gasly, Hadjar, Jack Doohan and Victor Martins, Stroll, Lawson, Miata and Yuki Tsunoda rounds off the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And alongside me today, a man who I'm always pleased to see join me in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. And let's talk momentum with this driver. What a sprint it was. They start at 0 once again for today, but with a huge amount of confidence, surely. Well, they'll definitely be glad that there's not a sprint race today. Let's face it, the sprint couldn't have gone much worse, but what we're looking for today is a reaction. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
Well, you've got to be prepared, Crofty. Before you even step foot inside the car, you've got to know, you've got to have a pre-race game plan. You've watched videos before you get into the car of previous races gone by. You know where you have to place your car if X, Y or Z happens in front of you or behind you. So having this clear game plan is absolutely essential before you get in the car.
We're going to struggle for a good position in this race unless we can gain some early positions. See what you can do. Side pods have taken damage. Keep an eye on your engine temperatures. Cooling may be adversely affected. Okay mate, don't worry about the damage. I've got some new strategy options if you go and check your MFD. Understood, copy that. You only have to stop once now. One stop left. Okay, DRS is now available. Okay, you've taken damage to the side pods. Expect to feel a little bit more drag than normal. Okay, I've got a brand new race strategy on your MFD if you want to go and check it out. Okay, copy that. Okay, safety car deployed, safety... Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
Yuki Tsunoda takes the checkered flag and wins.
They had to be decisive with their overtaking today as they worked their way through the field. And those kind of race victories are so enjoyable because it's not just like winning from the front. They really had to work for it today.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've absolutely loved watching that action today, and I'm sure these three have loved taking part. Here come our podium finishers. And the little man towers over the rest. It's the top step of the podium for Yuki Tsunoda. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Good news on this one, boss.
Hey, Chief. Engineering need your attention on something. We finished researching an upgrade and it's ready to be developed. Be sure to visit the development area as soon as possible.
Welcome along, everybody, to Imola, just down the road from Ferrari HQ, and they know a thing or two about pace, and pace today is king. It's qualifying day, and it's great to have you with us. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix. This race has gone by several former names: the Italian Grand Prix, the San Marino Grand Prix, and now the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. It's race day. We're at Imola. Welcome. 3.1 miles of track at Imola, featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit and its only DRS zone. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Norris, George Russell and Behrman, Gasly, Leclerc, Sainz and Esteban Ocon, Tsunoda, Antonelli, Gabriel Bortoleto, Doohan, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Liam Lawson and Lance Stroll, Hadjar, Hülkenberg, Miata and Victor Martins rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
With some luck, we might just be able to work our way up the field, but we need a good start. Keep it clean, okay? That move was illegal, I'm afraid, mate. Return the position, give it back. Okay, mate, we might need to look at a new race strategy after that. I've got some options for you, so go and check your MFD. Got that, confirmed. Okay, we've got a full course caution. The safety car's out. Keep an eye on the delta. We need to keep it positive to avoid a penalty. Slow down, maintain positive delta. Return the position immediately or we're going to get penalised. There's no overtaking during the safety car period. Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately. strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace. Right, let's pick up the pace a touch, please. We need to close to within 10 car lengths of the car ahead. Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. When the field accelerates, remember there's no overtaking until the timing line. Safety car in this lap. Okay, clear. Okay, take it easy on the car. We can't sustain this level of damage. Okay, gap to the car in front, 3.3 seconds. DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. There's a new strategy available on the MFD. Okay, safety car deployed, safety car's been deployed. Watch your delta, make sure you keep it positive as we catch the pack. Confirmed. Affirmative, medium tyres at the next stop. Okay, Ritomo's coming in for his stop now. Okay, one stop to go, just one stop left in this strategy. Safety car in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there's no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags. Okay, listen, don't worry about it, mate. It can happen to the best of us. Now look, I've put a new strategy option for you in the MFD, so go and have a look. Copy. Track is clear, track is clear. Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those tyres. Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 40.2 seconds. That looked bad. Are you alright? Let me know you're okay.
And in the end, there was no Verstappen. Max Verstappen, he takes victory.
They led from lights out to the flag at the end, and their race victory was never in doubt, was it? Brilliant stuff by them.
What a day it's been for Formula One, and what a day it's been for these three drivers. Time for the podium celebrations. Time for our drivers to celebrate. But there can only be one on the top step. Your number one, Max Verstappen. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
Boss, notice that we've got some cash not currently invested into anything. Maybe think about buying some facility improvements. It's great to keep HQ up to date and ensure we can hit our goals.
Just a reminder that we've still got space in the car for some more secondary sponsors. The more we have, the more revenue we'll generate. Plus, it's an opportunity to tweak our car livery, which the fans always enjoy. If that's something you want to kick off, visit the decal editor under customization in the corporate facility.
And that's it. Practice is officially over. Until next time, goodbye. Now, if you ask anyone who's raced here, they'll tell you, nowhere in the world is more important to get a high qualifying position than here on the windy, chicaney, challenging streets of Monaco. We're about to set the grid for tomorrow's race, but potentially for the end of the race too. So welcome along, everyone, to the Monaco Grand Prix qualifying.
Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.
With qualifying wrapped up now, we have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race. A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars will climb around 40 metres up the hill, past the casino, and then descend towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of 19 corners, and don't expect to see much overtaking here today. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Piastri, Norris, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Russell, Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, and Esteban Ocon, Hülkenberg, Antonelli, Alex Albon, and Behrman, Bortoletto, Hadjar, Lance Stroll, and Pierre Gasly, Doohan, Lawson, Martins, and Ritomo Miata rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up to, which is easier said than done, Anthony Davidson. Now, we had great fun watching them win last time out. What a great victory it was. But can they carry that into today's race?
It's the important one, isn't it, Crofty? You've done it once, can you do it again? But, you know, if you start believing in yourself and the confidence starts to build, that inner confidence is what you need. And you can carry that through to future races, including this one, and you set that ball rolling. That's the critical thing that they're looking for here. And I believe if you've got that first race win or a win at any stage, it can start to roll with you in a good way.
Back of the grid is not what we're aiming for. See if you can make up a few places at the start. Okay, you've got a drive-through penalty. You've been given a drive-through penalty. Okay, mate, don't worry about the damage. I've got some new strategy options if you go and check your MFD. Virtual safety car, virtual safety car. Reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta. Are you all right? Engine off, engine off.
Esteban Ocon can see the checkered flag. Victory is his.
You always look back at a race like this and think, if I'd just made that mistake there or locked up here, there would have been contact. And every one of those overtakes is a moment where you have to absolutely nail it, perfect it, and that's exactly what they're able to do today. Great stuff indeed.
From lights out to the checkered flag, this is what they're racing for. It's points and a trip to the podium. And that is the top step and the top spot for Esteban Ocon. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us.